Okay, we are doing simplifying equations. Let me just get set up. Okay, we're simplifying equations. Basically, in basic terms, basically making things simpler and basically condensing like a long thing into a small thing, making things simplified because you do not want to have things that are like a crazy solution. It makes it nicer. It's like saying, oh, would you say you have, say that you were to go to the groceries and you're picking one by one uh, uh, apples, and say that you're like, oh, um, I got one apple, another apple, another apple, another apple, another apple, another. You do that 10 times, and then you're like, oh, you got oranges too. It's like, but you got like another 5 oranges. So you got like, oh, I got a one orange, I got another orange, I got another. Like you're saying it over and over. Instead, you would just say, oh, I got 10 apples and 5 oranges. You're condensing what you had into one thing. That's the same idea of simplifying equations. Um Condensing it down or making it simpler. Um, yeah, let's see. Um, this is not. Some would say this is. Yeah, this is technically simplified. Yeah, I prefer this one, depending on certain applications, but I wouldn't. To be considered simplifying this thing, I don't think this is technically simplifying. It's just a different way of looking at it because you can look at it in a different way. I prefer this way in in this context, but yeah, this from here to here, this is simplifying. But this to here, this is not necessarily simplifying, but I guess they are defining it that way. There's different applications where you would prefer this over this, but that's just another topic for another day. Combining like terms. Let's see. Simplifying expressions. Okay, let's see. Oh, I think I'm not sure if I said equations or expressions. Expressions. Let me just explain what expressions are. Expressions are it's basically anything that's um, mathematical but does not have any equal sign. That's the simplest way I could explain it. It's not the true definition, but it's basically like if I were to say 7 plus 1, that's an expression. But if I were to do 7 plus 1 equals 8, no, this is not an expression. This is an equation. This by itself is an expression. Even just the number 7 is an expression. So it can be anything. Oh, it can also include like when you're dividing, the division symbol, multiplication symbol, plus, minus. It includes all those. But yeah, you need the equal sign in order for it to. And technically, the equation it doesn't need to be even true. It could be false. It could be a false equation. But it just needs an equal sign in order to be considered an equation. But yeah, it doesn't have to be true. The equation, like you could do, this is still, say if I were to do 7 plus 1 equals 9. This is still an equation, but it's not a true equation. It's not. This is not true. But that's just a little explanation of saying the difference between expressions and equations. Now let's see, combining like terms. Over here, we're combining 6x. I want to do the first time. I'm going to do it for this example, but I'm not going to do it for the other ones. Or actually, I'll do it. Um, yeah, I'll do it for this thing, but I think it's kind of redundant. I'm fairly confident you can do it. Okay, what's 6x? That's what you're telling me that you have 6x. You know how the apple example and the orange example that I was telling you? This is what you're telling me. That right here, this is your 6x, and then you're adding the other one. Okay, so you got x plus x. Right here, this is your 2x. So basically, instead of just saying, oh, x plus x, x plus x, you're simplifying it. You made this thing into this. This seems a lot easier to read than doing this. And this seems a lot easier, even though it's just a little bit smaller. But this is a lot easier than this. So we just need to count up you're just simply counting up the x's. And how many x's we have? Well, there's 6 x's here, and then there's 2 x's here. So how many x's do you have? Do you have 8x? So that's it. So you're just combining like terms. But notice how these are both x's. You cannot say that this was y plus y. And then you do the same thing, the 6 x's over here. You cannot do 8x, and you can't do another thing that you can't do is 8y. It does not work. You can only combine things that are the same thing. X and y is not necessarily the same thing. Unless you say that x and y are equal to each other, then you can say, yeah, then you can do that. But you can't just assume that they're the same. That's a little comment. But yeah, something to think about. So the next problem we have is 4c minus c. So we have 4 c's and then minus c. So we have 4 carrots minus 1 carrot because we ate one. How many carrots do we have? We have 3 carrots, or in this case 3c. I'm just making, I'm kind of hungry, so I'm just making the letters a food. Let's do number 3, h minus h minus h. So we have a negative h and a negative h. How many h's do we have? Oh, we don't have any h's. We 2 h's, so there's going to be a negative 2h. And that's it. Now, it's saying right here, I know this looks as an equation because we have the equal sign. This is not an equation. We're just trying to simplify the expression. Remember, we need to have something on the other side to be an equation. We're just simplifying this thing. This equal thing, they're just telling you like, oh, what does this, when you simplify this thing, what does it equal to? This does not mean like this is an equation equal sign, even though it's like it's a little misleading, but it's just what does it equal to? Or simplify to is not necessarily what it equals to. Like it's not an equation. It's a it means equal to it, but yeah, it does make a little confusion. But let's just do that problem. Wait, why does it jump from 3 to 10? Okay, I guess we're doing 10. So we have 3m plus 4, this is all parentheses, minus 5m. Okay, let's do this. We have to simplify. We have to do a thing called distribution. We have to distribute the 3 on the m and the 4. So 3 times m is 3m. 3 times 4, a positive 4, that's a positive 12. So can we combine the 3m and the positive 12? No. Can we combine the 12 and the negative 5m? No, we cannot. But we can combine the 3m and the minus 5m. So let's combine them. That will equal to negative 2m plus 12 because we saw that 12. So this is our simplified expression. Now let's do number 11. We have V. We still do the same. I prefer on this side, but you can. It still means the same thing. We start to distribute. It looks a little odd because we're going the other way. So we have 5 times V is 5V. 5 times negative 4, it is negative 20. Can we combine 5V and negative 20? Well, they're not the same, so we cannot. So this is all we can do. This is not technically simplifying. I don't know why. They're just doing, I guess that's how they defined that this is simplifying, but you know, I wouldn't consider this simplifying. I would consider this as simplifying. Um, but I would consider this also simplifying, or this from here to here. I would consider that simplifying into a different way, but that's all perspective. But yeah, okay, let's see. Number 12. 4A. Okay, we have 4A plus 2 minus 8A plus 1. Can we combine anything? Yes, we can. We can combine the 4A and the 8A. The way we do that is just add them up. So, but this is a positive 4A and this is a negative 8A. So we actually have a negative 4A. And can we combine anything else? Yes, we can. It is a positive 2 and a positive 1. What's positive 2 plus 1? A plus 3. There you go. That's it. We simplified it. Now we do number 13. It is 6s plus 5. Okay, now we do negative this. Okay. Now we have 6s plus 5 minus the quantity of s minus 6. We have to distribute before we can combine. We cannot just do s plus 6s. We have to distribute this negative sign. There's an imaginary 1 in front. So it's basically saying like, oh, we have to use the distribution property for this. So negative 1 times s is negative x. Negative 1 times 6, it is positive 6. So this becomes this. So we have 6s minus s. So if we would have done just s plus 6, we would have got a completely different answer. Now we have 6s minus s, that is 5s. Can we combine anything else? Well, there's a positive 5 and a positive 6, so we can combine those numbers. That is 11. That's it. We combine those, we combined it like terms, and we combined it, or we simplified equations. Or not equations, expressions, yeah. Not equations, yeah. Even I make mistakes, yeah. I was just making a big deal at the beginning, and I made a slip up on my words. I gotta make sure I gotta say it correctly. I think we can do another video because this is solving multi-step equation. Yeah, this is going to be a different topic, but this is it for this video. If you have any questions, just put it in the comments and I'll be happy to answer as quickly as possible. Thank you for watching.